Hello and welcome to the show. It has been some time since I was last on a car mechanic simulator. However, we are heading back there today. A new DLC has come out for some Lotuses. Loti. I don't know, we've got an Esprit now, which is really rather cool. And there is an Elise as well. With them comes new engines, new bits, and actually new placements, because as far as I'm aware, this is the first mid-engined car. In fact, I've just spotted where I didn't get the battery out of the vehicle. Yeah, this is the first mid-engined car for the game, which means I suspect the gearbox we see in this is going to be found in many mod cars to come, because up until now, can't be working with what parts they had. However, this has now got a proper mid-engined rear-wheel drive gearbox, which is, yeah, very cool indeed. There have been some other updates. There is now a garage customization, which I will show you in a little bit. There is also, not clicking on that part, a create new engine tool, which means that you can now build an engine from scratch, rather than previous times where you'd have to have a car with a certain engine, take the engine out and then work on the engine, much like I've done now. For example, with the Esprit's engine, you can actually now start completely from scratch, which is a really interesting little feature. Before we start on the Lotus, though, let's go and customize our garage. Because, of course, as we all know, the most important thing about any car mechanicking is, yeah, of course, customizing. Now, I'm not 100% sure. Are we gonna... there we go. Are we gonna do anything? But I'm not sure I'm doing things right here. Okay, we can get rid of some... okay, that's changing up there, apparently. Should we go for just a nice clean area? Okay, so we can have... Alright, so you can basically have your garage clean if you fancy it. Hold on a second. So, floor A, B, drain gates. Oh, that's a little bit more in depth. Alright, let's say a little bit more in depth. There's a fair few bits that we could change. Wall A. Oh, that wall over there. What materials do we want? Is there an option for orange? Doesn't look like there's an option for orange. I guess we're going to go for... Sure, we'll go for green. Oh, come on. I want an orange. I want orange. Orange walls, please. Orange walls? Are we going to be allowed us to have orange walls? Maybe we'll have to go for blue walls then. It's not really an offensive blue, sadly. However... sorry, that's wall A, wall C. Okay, so this is, I guess, for the rest of the garage. Maybe we'll have that in red. Yeah, oh, wait, hold on. Hold on, bear with me. It's a bloody massive garage. Right, floor A. I don't know which... Okay, there we go. Now it's working properly. So I don't know what was going on with it last time. Oh, God. We can have many different sorts of... Oh, we can have a wooden floor in our garage. Yes, I want wooden flooring in my garage. I'm not sure that's the usual way to do... Oh, I'm not sure it's the usual way to do garaging. However, yes, we will have wooden floor. Gate... I imagine this... I don't know what this means. What are you changing? You're changing that. Oh, we can have it... Oh, wow. So you can go for like a really rusted look garage if you want. No, I would not want a rusty look garage. You see, at least it does mean that we can have now some orange. Gate D? What's gate D? Is that might be the... Oh. No idea. We're going to put you to option 3. I'm not entirely sure where gate D is. You can be option 3 as well, just because. I thought it was going to be the... cabinets. Do we get different cabinets, or is it just painting them? It is, yes, over there, just painting them. Sure, you know what, we'll go with... we'll keep the kind of red, and... It's a mix. It is a mix. Ooh, office? Yeah, we've got a camera in the office, I hope. Okay, it's painting the wall over there. I guess we'll go to black. Sure. It's kind of a little shame that we can't have sort of fully customized colors, so you kind of got to make do with what you have. However, this is a free update, if you like, to the game, so now you can personalize your garage a little bit more. Car lift A will be the one the Lotus is on. Can we go back? Sure. We'll stick with... to be fair, I think we'll stick with the... kind of have an orangey-ish one. It's more of a faded yellow. We'll stick with those as red, and then, yeah, you can kind of clean the garage up, and so on. Well, there we go. That's that's a little look at the garage customization. So I will get to actually building the car. Yeah, I mean, it's limited in some ways, but it's nice to be able to actually customize the garage. I think our lifters are all different colors now. Whether they used to be or not, I don't remember, but they are now. So there we go. I digress. Building car time. Yes, let's go and build the car. So I stripped down the Lotus so we can get to work on the perhaps more interesting part, the actual rebuilding of the car. You will notice immediately this is a rather different i4 to the ones that we have worked on previously. It is a quite heavily canted engine, so if we spin it around, well, there's no real uprights. It's kind of like that, really. A slightly odd-looking engine, that much is for sure. I mean, to work on it doesn't really make too much difference. I would probably recommend, as ever, working on this on the stand. It's much easier being able to spin the engine around. Now, I have gone off and tried to buy some bits and pieces for it. I have got some bits and pieces hanging around. We are going to try and give this as much performance as we can, but there is limitations. Unfortunately, with a lot of the kind of newer engines that have come to the game, their unique parts won't have a performance variant. So, for example, the engine heads on this, the specific exhaust parts, won't have... Oh, I forgot I don't have any piston rings hanging around anymore. Won't have any... Oh, game. Be locked up completely. Thank you, game. Yeah, they won't come with performance variants. So, the amount of upgrades we're going to be able to do on this is limited. We'll probably be able to get 15, maybe 20% in terms of power upgrades from the little bits and pieces we have. You know, the pistons have give us 1% each. The spark plugs will give us a little bit. The fuel pump, for example, is the one shared between all of the cars in this game. Alternator, I think we could probably get away with. I'm fairly sure it doesn't have a custom alternator, but yeah, it's a little bit of a shame that we don't have performance variants of the engine heads, but yeah, that's currently not, and I don't think any of the DLC vehicles do at the moment. I don't think the Bentleys and so on have that either. Do we? We have managed to repair all of the rod caps. One thing I will say with the Lotus was a right pain to find one. To go and do this video. I actually had to disable all of the mods and then went into the config files to make the Lotuses more likely to appear. I just wanted a Lotus of some description to appear in my game. So yeah, I had to work around a little bit. Even then, it's probably taken me about half an hour to find a bloody Lotus to work on in this video. It might just be that I had horrendous luck. You know, it might just be that I did have horrendous luck. Do we have a performance flywheel? Yes. Oh, there we go. We get 3% from that, and I think we should have, yes, performance clutch as well. Yeah, my 20% power gain might not actually be that far off. What is the... Oh, it's release bearing, I think, is the one we want. Clutch release bearing. There we go. Ooh, yeah, now there's something else to deal with. The engine head on this, if you like, is very different to anything else that... oh, I put the wrong one on. Anything else that I have seen in this game, again, which is cool. It's cool to see, while it is still, you know, an i4, it's cool to see a very, very different style of i4, if you like, because the top of it almost looks like a V engine, which... It will make sense when you see it. Right, so that's all of that stuff done. That's kind of all of the lower end, bottom end parts, if we like. So we will spin this around. Trying to work on the top part of this engine is not... It's not the easiest, trying to get everything when it's kind of a little bit conky, but there we go. Now, distributor, I think is just a generic one, so it is off to the performance shop for one of those, but it does have a... Now, distributor, oh, that's actually 5% gain. Maybe we'll get closer to like 25 then. The actual cap, I know, is a specific Lotus one. However, I believe the distributor in this is kind of the interchangeable one. Yes, the rotor is a nice interchangeable one. Then you need the i4E. Oh, I've got a couple of those. Yeah, I kind of went around and bought a bunch of stuff for the engine. Some stuff got repaired, but yeah, I just kind of bought all the extra bits just in case something didn't get repaired and I kind of missed what was going on. Ignition coil. That will be that'll be an upgradable part as well, I believe. Anyway, ignition coil will be. Okay, it's another 4% on it. It's another 4%. We're certainly not going to see a 100% power increase. And at the end of the day, I mean, this thing it starts off at 179 horsepower. It's not going to be the most crazy powerful car, but sometimes not crazy powerful cars are actually a good way to go. Not crazy powerful cars make for a bit better driving in this game. Right, so the engine head on this one is, as I said, it's an interesting looking engine head. And thankfully, in terms of fiddliness, is that a technical term? Sure. It's not the worst, because the engine head bits, and like the camshafts and so on, all come attached in here. You don't have to worry about the many camshaft bearings that you get in the classic V8s or the push rods and so on. It's kind of a little bit all in one. Again, that does mean that there is no upgrading of the camshafts. We can't get performance camshafts on the vehicle, but it's yeah, all fits in there. It's interesting. It's a different sort of engine to work on, and if you've played as much of this game as I have, you know, it's nice to have these, you know, something a little bit different to work on. And again, I'm curious to see what what modders and so on will do with all of this. Now, we do have our exhaust manifold over here. Of course, the exhaust on this different to other cars as well. Now, all of this, yeah, I didn't think I bought all of this stuff. Ooh, while we are here, let's buy an alternator. Now, do we have? Do these have performance power steering pump? I don't remember what power steering pump this thing came with, so maybe let's not go and buy let's not go and buy stuff that we aren't sure about. We will wait until we get to it. Again, as ever with this, much like a lot of the other engines, while a lot of parts for this are i4E, or i4D, this bit down here is for the Lotus Elise engine, which is again another new i4. That's an i6 water pump. I don't know if there's a performance variant actually of that. Probably should have checked, but never mind. Yeah, a fair few bits of this are borrowed from the i6. You know, you'll see the same cam gears and hanging around and whatnot. But yeah, quite a few bits are very much new. Let's go and have a look for a water pump. Pulley. That's what we were after. I will have a check in the performance shop just in case we do have a upgraded water pump. No, we don't. I think that might have been in the previous game where we had upgraded water pumps. They were a thing, I think. I don't know. There we go. Idler roller 8. Oh crap! I didn't buy all of those. Normally it's advisable. I tend to have just a crap ton of those hanging around. Like I have many rubber bushings hanging around in my inventory. Ooh, there's the Bentley bit. I haven't really played around with the Bentleys. They came out. They were, I don't know, they're not quite as interesting to me as the Lotus. I will be honest. Also, we have had Bentleys in the past. It was like 6-1, wasn't it? We had Bentleys in the previous Car Mechanic Simulator game, and while the W12 engine in the Continental is, again, an interesting engine to work on. It'll be good. I haven't touched too many in the way of mods of late. Be good to see that being able to go into some other cars. Lotus Esprit, Lotus Elise. I find those a little bit more appealing to me. Let's get that in there now. These should be upgradable. I have got the two of them repaired, so they're 2-barrel side draft carburetors. Let's go back to the tuning shop. Right, carburetor. Carburetor. 2-barrel side draft. Ooh, okay, they get 14%. Okay, maybe this isn't going to be as terrible in terms of the old upgrading as I was expecting. Because we're going to get a couple of these as well. That's another 2% from the air filters. Sure, we can work with that. We'll get some nice some nice red shiny bits on our engine. Unfortunately, these are all going to be very well hidden with the way that the kind of filters and the boxes go on this. And the kind of the way that the engine ends up in the car, not the easiest bits to... I say to see. It's going to be buried deep in the car. Air filter cover is on. Don't have to worry about any clips on the air filter cover, which is lovely. Less clips is more good, I think. The general way to go. Fuel filter, yes. I don't know if I've got one of those yet, so let's buy those. We're also going to need a tank. Oh, that's performance shop. It would be nice to have a performance fuel tank. I guess maybe lighter. Tank, there we go. That's what we want. And then that will likely be our... I think that's actually our engine complete with... I say with the exception of the exhaust. I think the exhaust has to be done on the car. So there we go. That is the new engine. One of the new engines. Yeah, it looks quite conky. with all of that. Now, I say unfortunately, the engine crane, yeah, despite this big mid-engined car, it does still go to the front of the vehicle. So we are still putting engines in the front. I was kind of hoping it might have been moved, but there we go. Alas, it was not. There we have that now. You can go back home. Go away. Right, so the engine is buried deep within... deep within the car. There we go. Actually, you can see the top bits a little bit better than I thought we could in all of that. Now, suspension and running gear time. I have done, like, the wheels and shocks and so on off camera, just because they're a bit time-consuming, a bit fiddly to work with. Nothing that we haven't seen... I say nothing that we haven't seen before on this. Of course, back here, while we have seen cars with double wishbones and mid-engines, we've seen mods of it. We haven't had an official one with, apparently I've got lots of suspension arms hanging around. Yeah, we haven't had an actual proper mid-engined rear drive car. So it is nice to see a gearbox that will accommodate that. Have I got enough of these? I tried to buy all of the right parts and repair parts, and I think I've just about done a decent enough job. Do I actually have the gearbox? I mean, it's not, let's face it, at the end of the day, it's not a massive difference in terms of the the previous gearboxes, but it has got a proper place for the drive shafts to be going into. We don't have the exhaust section. The exhaust sections aren't repairable. As I said, I turned off all of my mods and whatnot to try and up my chances of finding the bloody Esprit. I don't know why it was so difficult. I found just about every single other car, bar perhaps the Bentley Continental. I found just about every single other car that you could possibly find at the various junkyards and so on. But could I find a Lotus Esprit? We're going to need another brake disc when we go around the other side. They were repaired, which is good. We will need pads because I don't think I bought those. Right, brake pads. We will get 4 of those. It's kind of strange playing the game without the repair anything mod, where I'm so used to just about everything getting fixed. Let's get a disc, and it'll probably be having the vented. Most of the cars in this game have the vented discs at the front, if they are discs all round. Okay, no, apparently I didn't need pads. I have stacks of them left over. Oh, damn, we're going to need a caliper, aren't we? Oh, God. Gone are the days when we had all of the many parts that we could possibly need. Oh crap, I forgot to balance the wheels. I built them, I made them, I created them. There they are, they're all sat in there, and I forgot to balance them. Oh, I'm rusty. I am very rusty when it comes, apparently, to car mechanic simulating. That's definitely the technical official term. How have I got so many upper suspension arms? What car have I lost? What car have I stripped down and forgotten about? I don't think there was anything. I kind of had a little bit of a clear out in here when I saw the Lotus DLC was coming. Got rid of some vehicles, made sure we had plenty of space for stuff, but nothing was half built. So who knows? Who knows? They're probably going. I should probably say. I've no doubt there'll be people saying, "How on earth have I got so much money in this game?" I actually haven't cheated the money. I say I haven't cheated the money. The money came from, building up modded cars. So I got an Aston Martin DB5. That was the first one that gave me a fair bit of money, and then I bought a Shelby Daytona and restored that one, and then it kind of snowballed a little bit from there up until I got a McLaren F1, and that's where all the money came from. Like the game's standard cars, don't get me wrong, it's lovely to see more base cars with more various parts and so on. Value-wise, you're not going to be making near enough 20 million out of Esprits. I mean, I think I paid 17,000 for this car. It was from the auction house at this one. I was alternating between auction house and junkyard in the hope of finding an Esprit somewhere. It was the grand Esprit search. In fact, this particular Esprit, the plates on it were from Ireland. So I've actually got an Irish Lotus Esprit in the middle of what I believe is supposed to be America, especially considering the sort of junk cars and whatnot that you generally find. So it has travelled a long way. The Esprit has travelled. Oh, did I not buy a front sway bar? Whoopsie. The Esprit has travelled a long way, and I can't imagine many Esprits were sold over in America, particularly. Although, this was the car made famous by Bond, so perhaps there was more demand for them than the traditional British sports cars. Either way, yeah. Many searchings went on. 17,000 credits to begin with. I would expect it to be maybe 30, 40,000. Buying cars from the auction is not necessarily the greatest way of doing it, as they will come with most of their bits attached to them. They will come with... well, actually, he's managed to repair the steering rack. Well done, me. They will come with a full complement of parts, and in the case of this car here, all of the interior and bodywork was in 100% condition, so I haven't had to repair any of those whatsoever, which is pretty damn helpful, if I do say so myself. But of course, that means your, I guess, profits from repairing up the car is going to be less. I haven't seen the Elise. I don't know how much those things are worth on this game, sadly, with... yeah, my inability to find any Lotus, not just this Esprit, being a little bit on the difficult side. Right, that lot there is in over there. Let's go and grab that. Let's go grab the wheel, and two more to go over on the balancer. God damn it! And then we are largely got one more corner to do over here. Got little bits like radiator. Oh, I haven't actually put the battery on charge. Hold on. Let's go do that as well, because we're going to leave that for an undetermined amount of time. I can't remember. Charge the battery. That's all good. God damn it, the decorators didn't clean up after themselves. Who's dropped some paint in me office? I mean, also, we could probably do with some new steps. Those could do with a bit of a refresh. Probably do with a bit of clear. I might have to go around and sort it out all fully. Clean up my workshop. I digress. We were building the car. Let's get one of our many upper suspension arms replaced. Yeah, the double wishbone suspension is one of my, I say preferred. It's one of the quickest suspensions to just stick together. You've only got a couple of parts really. It sort of all just fits in there very neatly. You don't have to worry about all the fancy like rear cross members and all of the about 5 different suspension arms that go around on it. Makes for pretty quick rebuilds if that's what you want to be doing. If you want to be doing quick rebuilds, quick turnarounds on cars, then yeah, double wishbone suspension, very nice indeed. We needed that caliper, didn't we? That's the one bit I forgot to get. There we go. Ooh, haven't seen that one before. Again, I imagine that must be for the... I want the Bentley... Can I get the Bentley brakes? I'd imagine that being for the Continental would be very big and very powerful. Can we put the Bentley brakes on our little, very lightweight Lotus? Probably do like an endo if you got on... If it had grippy enough tyres, those brakes would be quite powerful. Quite powerful indeed. Or the rest of the car wouldn't be going fast enough to do an endo or something. I don't know. But it certainly would get stopped rather rapidly with those brakes, although you probably want some race tyres to really maximise the terrifyingness. Again, they're definitely proper words in all of that. Wheel, thank you. One more to go, and then we will have all of the wheels installed. You might notice I'm having issues clicking on stuff. I don't know what's gone on. I don't know what's gone on with this game. I feel like something has changed with the way that the mouse works on here. I remember when the game came out, there's a lot of people complaining about the mouse doing some slightly strange things on here. It was a thing that never ever affected me. However, it feels like in this last update, something weird has gone on that makes the positioning of the mouse cursor a little bit odd. Now, I might just be being a fool. It might just be that I'm out of, I say practice. It might just be that, yeah, I'm not massively used to this game again. And I just learned to live with it previously. But having come back to it, either something's changed in the settings that I'm not aware of, or something's acting a little bit funky here with the mouse. Sometimes I'm, like, when I'm actually in this bit here, it seems okay. But sometimes I go through the menus, it seems very, I don't know, I expect it to be somewhere and it isn't. Might just be me. But, yeah, let me know if other people are finding that of late, and if you know what particular setting. I thought it might be mouse acceleration, but I played around with that, and that doesn't seem to make it any better. So, better or worse, turning it on and off. I can't remember what is on by default now, but yeah, I don't know. If it looks like I'm just being slow when I'm clicking on stuff, I am trying, honest. I am trying to click on buttons, but apparently buttons are pretty difficult. And the final wheel will go on the car. We just need exhaust for the vehicle. I think the exhaust might be the only thing that's actually labelled Esprit in this. It is, yeah. So I wonder if some of the i4E parts, maybe they end up on the Elise's engine in various ways. Or maybe there are plans for more cars. I don't know how many cars are going to have this sort of engine. Maybe. Who knows? We could speculate on that. But yeah, it kind of seems a little bit odd to me that only the exhaust bit is labelled Esprit, whereas like with the Bentley, certainly not the T-Series parts are just labelled T-Series. I don't know. Maybe that's wishful thinking for more. More cars, maybe more Lotis. There we go. That will be the exhaust completed. Again, with different exhaust bits, I would not at all be surprised to see these becoming used on plenty of mid-engine rear drive mods as well. I say, to be honest, a lot of the I suspect a fair few people will get this DLC pack, not just for the Lotuses. The Lotuses are great, absolutely great, but also because the parts, I think, are going to make their way into a fair few mod cars. So, yeah, it kind of gives you more options, more choices, and more things to do with the mod vehicles. So that's, I'm pretty sure, all of the mechanical bits done. It is, I think so. Oh, I haven't done the spark plugs. Whoops. Put all of that in, forgot the spark plugs. That would be a problem. Now we can get performance ones. I'm sure people were shouting at me. Good thing I say good thing I had a look. To figure out pretty quickly something wasn't working when the car didn't go. That's that's generally a pretty good sign. Something's a little bit iffy if my car's not driving, you know. But there we go. Right, spark plugs are all in. We then need we need a starter motor. Oh, this is actually a little bit of a funky one to try and get the start. Okay, so to get the gearbox out, you have to take out the starter motor. To get the starter motor out, you have to get the oil filter out. To get the oil filter off, the car has to be in the air. To get the starter motor out, the car has to be down on the ground, because you have to go through the engine bay. And then to get the gearbox out, you have to have the car up in the air again. It's a bit awkward. It's just a smidge awkward. It's just a lot of lifting the car up and down. Perhaps a little bit unnecessary. Was that just a generic oil filter, actually, before we go and have a look? It is just an i4 oil filter. There we go. Did we have performance filters? Oh, it's only just air filters. We have performance filters. Alright, worth a check. Alright, oil filter, i4, perfect. That will have to have the car lifted up again. And then it's just on to the bodywork. Yeah, thankfully this car came complete with all of its bodywork. I actually really like the yellow on, on the Esprit. I really like the yellow on this vehicle. There we go, perfect. Oil filter is on. Oops. And, we are actually out of that, never mind. Assemble mode. I didn't even bother taking the interior out, I had no need to. It's all at 100% condition. Rear bumper is a go. I think this might also, speaking of like firsts for this game, I think this might be the first vehicle with pop-up headlights. Official vehicle, of course, with pop-up headlights, which is cool. I don't know if I can actually use them. I haven't checked. We will have to go and have a look, because that would be exciting if we might now have working pop-up headlights on this. Also, kind of like the front shell comes on in a interesting manner. Can we get... let's get the door on. There's a fair few little... There's little windows hanging around. It's lovely when the car comes with all 100% bodywork. Rare to work on on a vehicle like that, but there we go. Left body window on. Might have been better off putting the engine cover on before doing the trunk. Let's go back to normal mode. I've just actually seen there's a nice little... normal mode, please. Honestly, I am trying to click on the right bloody thing. There we go. Engine cover, back to normal mode. What does that little sticker say on the car? World Champion Car Constructors 63, 65, 66, 70, 72, 73. I imagine Formula 1 they're talking about on on all of that. Cool. I like the little details. Do like the little details on this. The interior is pretty cool. Again, I can't say I know exactly what the Series 1 Esprit looked like, but it seems pretty accurate to me. Yeah, we've got the Irish plates on the car. Travelled many distances to wind up in an American auction. And that... Okay, we ignore the piston rings. We need the rear window. Piston rings never get kind of measured normally. The rear window is in there, isn't it? Of course. You have to kind of do various compression tests that will show up the... I think it's a compression test that will show up the piston ring condition. We put brand new ones in. I know we did, so we're fine. Rear window is in normal mode. There we go. Can we close the trunk? There we go. Unfortunately, clicking on the trunk window doesn't help. Do these work? It doesn't seem like we've got working pop-up headlights. Disappointing. Disappointing. Unless... Let's just have a look. Now, I have seen this done with some mod cars. To get pop-up headlights to work, you basically have two sets of headlights. So you have one set of the headlights down and one set with the headlights up. It doesn't. Okay, it was worth a look, just in case. Yeah, so by having two different versions of headlights, you can then have the equivalent of pop-up headlights. There might be something that I'm missing to get those to work, but seems like that is not the case. All in all, the car worth $35,000. I will have made some money on the Esprit if when we come to sell it. Let's go and stick you in the dyno room though, because let's go put some oil in you first. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Look again. It's been a while, okay. As is FailRace tradition, if it's not forgetting bloody rubber bushings, it's forgetting oil. It is the way of the world. It is the way of the FailRace. Okay, you wouldn't want to necessarily bring your car to my garage. That's just a warning. A warning. Probably not a clever idea to bring a car to my garage, but there we go. Right. Audience, place your bets on what you reckon we're going to be getting power-wise out of that. It was 180 horsepower to start with, I think. Let's just have another check before we do begin. Yeah, so 180 horsepower. I reckon about 230, perhaps. That might even be pushing it a little bit, but let's give it a try. Yes, I would like to proceed with the dyno test. Come on, Lotus, get us a good amount of power so we can go and set a hopefully decent lap time around the around the little test track. I mean, it looks good, but there's no numbers on the graph. It is, it's 250. That's not too terrible. That's a 40% gain, and considering a lot of parts like camshafts and heads and whatnot can't be performance upgraded, I was expecting worse. I was expecting worse from our very yellow Esprit. Right, we must go out the bright orange doors to the test track. So, the very banana-y Lotus is here on the grid for a run around our circuit. I'm not expecting exactly record-breaking lap times out of the... out of the car. It's not got the power of... well, most of the cars that have gone very quickly. We are on, standard tyres that are apparently quite low on the old grip front. It's okay on the front grip. The front grip is good. It gets turned in, and then the back end... I mean, the back end does things. It does things its own way, and they're not really particularly what you want for a car. Not what you want your car to be doing. Kind of wiggles a lot. It's quite twitchy. Oh, very sideways. It's not even that powerful. I was hoping that, well, a 250 horsepower Esprit would be the right amount of power to go quickly around here, because it's not too much power for the car to be horrendously uncontrollable, but still fast enough, you know, when it comes to the straights and so on. Unfortunately, it seems to be very twitchy. It's not really controllable. Now, again, I might be slightly rusty on the old Car Mechanic Simulator handling, because it is a bit weird. It's just impossible to get cars to drive in a straight line. Especially when you start going up towards 160 kilometers an hour. It's just incomprehensibly difficult to get cars to go in a straight line. And when you've got a car that's a little bit twitchy to begin with, you add on that difficulty. Like once you're actually into the corners, it's not too bad. Honestly, the corners are better than the straights with this car. And I mean in terms of handling. Of course, we always expect a Lotus to be better through the corners than it is at a straight line. But it's much easier to manage the handling issues when we're going to the corners. So here we are all right with heading in a straight line, and then you have to try and correct it slightly, and it all goes a little bit squiffy. What are we looking at lap time wise? I think our record's somewhere in the 51s around here. Might not quite be that fast. It was a Pontiac GTO drag car that went very fast. It was on full race tyres. Lap times under a minute are pretty good. We're not going to be able to do that with the Esprit. I mean, it's not got the power. It's not got the ferocious speed down here to necessarily really challenge the big guns. But it's, I think, a little bit too difficult through the corners as well. After all, one of our fastest cars here was a 205 that equally didn't have as much power as the big guns, but was amazingly good to drive. Well, we actually got it down the straight that time in a vaguely sensible fashion. Oh, we're going to jump the curb a little bit through there. It's fine. I mean, I've got not a huge amount of control over the car, so you know, we'll let it off slightly. Oh, hello, wolves. Don't mind me. It's just a little brush. It wasn't even enough to ding the yellow paintwork. Unless cars do now get damaged when you are when you are running around the test track. I don't think they do, but there we go. Oh, that's a big late moment. Okay. I guess we're not finishing that lap then. Esprit down! Esprit down! It's all got a bit FailRacey. Like, sometimes I astound myself with how well I managed to find ways to roll cars. That was a little wide in the brake. That was a little late on the brakes, a little wide through the corner. We clipped the tyre bundle, and that was enough. That was enough. That's a look at the new Lotus DLC for Car Mechanic Simulator. As I said, you know, there are new parts, 2 new engines. This Esprit one is something quite different to work upon. It is a little shame that they lack the perhaps performance parts to make them really ludicrous, although judging by the difficulty I'm having keeping control of this car, maybe that's a good thing in some ways. I do kind of look forward to seeing how much can now be done with, I say how much can be done with mods. The difference we're going to see with mods now that we have got a proper mid-engined rear-wheel drive car as a, I guess, kind of base to be working on. I also love how I've got one wheel spinning that I cannot actually stop. Like, if I hold the brake, we go into reverse. What if I do, like, hold accelerate? Nope. We've made perpetual motion and rolled a Lotus all in one go. It is a very successful FailRacey day. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.